Dangerous driving is one of the deadliest crimes that police have to deal with.
The biggest weapon we come across are vehicles. Not knives, not guns.
And Kent traffic officer Pete Ormerod has spent his career trying to prevent lethal incidents.
So it's drink and drug driving, seatbelts, speeding, mobile phones, and making sure people maintain a gap. People more die on the roads than they are by murders, and it's trying to stop those crashes from happening.
When you're in a pursuit situation, there's loads of things to think about. You've got speed, gear, accelerate, brake, clutch, steering, their driving, all the other driving.
He's a great officer, really fit, really an outstanding police officer. Makes me proud of the officers when you see them like that.
I come out of college with a small degree in graphic design, couldn't get a job, and Kent Police were offering roles, and it was a good career to start with.
Pete has his own reasons for joining the traffic force.
When I first joined, I used to work with someone, and she was killed in a road traffic crash by a drink driver, and that was kind of my motivation, really, to try and stop drink drivers. And we do have our targets every now and then, the regulars who are disqualified driving, either drink or drug driving, we can target. And then night duty tends to shift a little bit, because obviously that's when crime mostly happens, from burglaries, car thefts, by keyless entry, stuff like that.
Pete relies on high-tech equipment to help him catch criminals on the road. These include ANPR cameras.
ANPR stands for automatic number plate recognition. So when you drive through a particular area, if there is a camera fitted in that site, you will go through it and your number plate will be red.
We just log into a system and then it basically updates itself via the internet. So essentially on the screen right now is the ANPR system. So every time we get a hit, it will flash up with a new vehicle. It may well be that we need to stop this vehicle because we need some intelligence on that vehicle. Anyone can add anything to ANPR for shoplifting. This vehicle's been involved in shoplifting, please stop. The locations aren't known and they can move, and we can have some of our cars sometimes have it fitted so they can be mobile units. It's essentially another tool in our armoury to try and reduce crime.
This camera proved vital in a shocking event that has had a lasting effect on Pete. It was summer 2019 and Pete was on the night shift.
It was my last night shift, and we had a few cars that were activating cameras in the county that were stolen. The particular vehicle was one of them. The car had gone through an area of Medway where a camera was static camera was, and the information was that it was taken from a car park at Maidstone train station. I was stationed with my colleague in Boxley Road in Maidstone, and we were just waiting to see what happened with this car and where was it going to go, where was it going to hit next, because it couldn't really leave Medway without pinging another camera. A dog handler was driving down Boxley Road and come across the vehicle and got behind the vehicle and activated his personal radio to say, yeah, I'm behind this vehicle, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, and trying to get other assets and resources into place, because obviously it was a single crew with a dog, so it was a case of get further assets there to help with the stop.
The incident described to me was a car that refused to stop for police, was being followed by a car in pursuit, and that Pete had got ahead of it.
And we were at the top of Boxley Road in Maidstone, so we were kind of hoping it was going to come towards us, which we found out it was on the radio. So with the information that we had, just listening in and then thinking, well, we're in a stinger location as such, let's start considering a deployment.
A stinger is a device that bursts the tyre of any car that drives over it.
Basically a bed of nails which deploys across the road.
As you can see, these are the spikes, the hollow on the inside. Sit the stinger on the ground in the direction you want it. Get the cord out, and we've got to grab this rope literally as we deploy it out. So, and then the car will go over it, and then we pull it out of the way before the police car goes over it.
Pete waited with the stinger for the suspect to pass.
Boxford Road's quite a long, winding, rural road. It goes into a village and then goes straight into the town centre. Because obviously I put it on the floor thinking, we've got plenty of time to deploy it, set it up in a manner that's a little bit safer. And all of a sudden we get notified it's on a bridge. And the bridge was literally 20 seconds away from where I was. Because there's like two halves of your brain. There's like the front and the back, and the front contains all your training and the back contains all your instincts to survive. I'd gone too far over to the front where I've like, right, you're trained to do this, you're going to do something. And the balance of you need to be safe was overridden by the instincts to do something.
With only 20 seconds to decide what to do, Pete chose to deploy the stinger. Seeing the stinger across the road, the driver tries to avoid it.
When it came around the corner, the car swerved towards Peter and it hit him at high speed.
Later, the car hits Pete, throwing him into the road.
That vehicle on that time was like a weapon towards Peter.
I remember the headlight being there and going, this isn't good.
Back in Kent, PC Pete Ormerod is trying to stop a suspected car thief. He has received information that the suspect's car is 20 seconds away, and he has deployed a stinger to stop it.
I remember the headlight being there and going, this isn't good. And got hit by the car.
That vehicle on that time was like a weapon towards Peter. When it came around the corner, the car swerved towards Peter and it hit him at high speed.
Then got thrown, hit the floor.
The car spins him around like a stick of rock, and he spins, and that's when he gets injured and breaks his leg.
Miraculously, despite being hit at such a high speed, Pete jumps straight up.
I remember my radio going nuts because I could hear the dog handler going, it's hit me. Next thing I kind of remember is getting up off the floor in front of our marked car and then scrambling around and getting into the car. My brain must have said, just get back in the car, just as a safe thing.
Had anything in that car caught up with Peter, it would have dragged him along. And that car was travelling at a speed that it could not stop straight away. So even if it chose to stop, the officer would have been dragged for a long period of time along the road.
Meanwhile, the dog handler continues to pursue the offender.
Dog handler managed to get round and get after the car. The car caught the stinger, so the tyre did deflate on the front left. It did stop eventually.
With a flat tyre forcing the car to stop, the chase is over. But when the dog handler makes the arrest, there is a surprise in store. The driver is only 16 years old.
It turned out to be a juvenile. He was arrested. They did some testing, sort of breath test, drug wipe, and he failed a drug wipe for cannabis.
In the moments after the attack, shock begins to set in for Pete.
I then realised, really, I've been hit by a car. It's the first time really I've reset myself. And yeah, got out of the car and started checking myself over to see how badly injured I was. Adrenaline's a great painkiller. And obviously once I got back out of the car, it started to wear off. And once it started wearing off, that's exactly when obviously all the pain started to kick in.
Pete is driven to the hospital.
An ambulance had already been called, but they were extremely busy and we weren't too far away from a local hospital, so it was just like, well, I'm kind of walking and talking, let's get in a car and get there. Had an X-ray and then the radiographer said, you've got a fractured, displaced fibula in the left leg. Right at the top, where it sits next to here, it completely fractured and splintered and then separated a little bit to the, I think it was to the left. I was at the hospital, just wait, do my statement whilst I was sat there for the reasons for deploying and stuff like that. And then get home and try and sleep, but that wasn't ever going to happen.
The offender was brought to court.
I gave my evidence in trial, saw the videos. Didn't watch it for a while, I didn't want to. I did watch it beforehand, and in the trial, the audio was played, and obviously you can hear me getting hit and the noise that I make, which isn't too pleasant. And then it was kind of like watching it with the audio, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't prepare for that bit as well. And so it was kind of like surreal a little bit, seeing yourself get hit by something and get up and run off. Yes, I was hurt, and yes, I deployed. And we got the vehicle, we got the driver, and no one else got hurt.
I think my response was, he's lucky to be alive. Lucky to be seriously injured, but not worse. I'm just really disappointed with society that criminals think it's okay to assault emergency workers, ambulance colleagues, fire colleagues, and those people who do that should be punished appropriately.
The offender, who was a juvenile, was convicted of failure to stop after a road traffic collision, failure to provide a blood sample, causing serious injury by dangerous driving, driving without a licence and driving without insurance. He was given a 12-month rehabilitation order and ordered to pay £100 in compensation. A badly broken leg meant that Pete was off work for 5 weeks.
I live in a 1, 2 up, 2 down, basically. Getting upstairs was a massive issue. So my mum and dad live in a bungalow, so I moved back in with them to make it easier. The first time in probably 14 years, I'd taken a good break and then sort of taken to stock of everything that's happened and work out what caused me to make that decision with this thing with no real cover.
Pete also began to feel the psychological impact of the incident.
It wasn't really till I got back home and I was on my own. I was doing some washing up, and then literally the headlight, it just wouldn't get out of my head. And all I kept seeing for the next sort of 2 hours was headlight, flashback. I was walking my dog after being able to walk again, and then this bike was coming down the hill, and I don't know, for instance, I just saw the headlight and froze. So obviously it's coming towards me, but it just set me off. With the mental health help that I've had from welfare, it's learning to get that balance with your fear and your instincts, learn to talk to your training a little bit more and get that balance, because then you'll make a better informed decision.
Pete has had to pass the scene of the incident many times.
Well, I didn't realise I was driving down the route until I went onto the bridge and went, oh, I'm driving the way where I got hit. And it was actually on the way to a counselling session actually as well, which was a bit ironic. And I have gone through that route quite a few times since, and it's not bothered me too much. Obviously, it's always going to be a place that's going to be quite daunting to go to, because it's where I got hit. But it doesn't upset me as much as it used to. And it's also part of the healing process, I think, as well, where you visit somewhere where something traumatic happens.
Five weeks after the incident, Pete was back at work.
There's no issues with the leg anymore. All the soft tissue stuff is kind of left off. There was obviously the hamstring was my issue, a few muscle issues here and there. I'm back running, I'm back in the pool, back walking the dog. Headlights there every now and then, it's always going to be. It's with any sort of trauma incident, it's always going to be there, and it's always just going to pop up every now and then. But that's normal, and it's learning that's normal, and knowing how to cope with it in a way through the mental health help via welfare, that if it does appear, there's coping mechanisms that you can do.
Even after such a horrendous incident, there's no other job for Pete.
I should take his hands off the steering wheel completely right next to my car.
When I went to see Peter, again, he just got the ethos of I was just doing my job, I was trying to stop the car and just talking about coming back to work. And it was fantastic.
It's like, obviously, driving past that car and he's not got his seatbelt on, I don't think.
I enjoy it. It's definitely where I want to be, because it gives me the most chance of doing what I enjoy in terms of sort of taking drug drivers off the road, stopping people from driving carelessly to cause crashes. And that's my main buzz of policing, is to stop those people doing that.